Hello, and welcome to Healing with Alita. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And please enjoy today's message.
Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Today I wanted to talk about a particular morning when I woke and I began to pray. And I said, "Good morning, Father. Thank you for another day." And then I heard the Lord speak and he said, "It's not so much about your legacy, it's about your heavenly." And I pondered that thought for a moment, not really understanding what that meant. And as time went on, I began to understand. In today's world, we can begin to focus and begin to spend a lot of time thinking about building our legacy. What is it that we will leave to our children? Will we have enough for them to survive even now and after we've passed on? Kind of building up things in the natural. But as I began to ponder, I began to understand that what the Lord was saying, it's not so much about the legacy or the things that you acquire or the things that you leave behind. It's more about your heavenly. It's more about how we live our lives and how do we utilize the time and the gifts and the talents that He's given us to help ourselves, help others. You see, one of the goals that God has for us is to become stronger in Him, unshakable to some extent across all domains. Each of us, the works that He's called for us to do are very individualized based on the way that we are made. When these gifts and talents are joined together as a people of God, we begin to see how the remnant forms this beautiful mosaic and begin to spread the word of God throughout the world. This is part and parcel of what He was speaking about when He said to me, heavenly. It's working out and or attending to those things that are eternal versus those things that are finite in nature, acquiring the things of the world, will ultimately perish and pass away. Mark chapter 8, verse 36 addresses this as follows. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Some of us, this may call for a complete paradigm shift in our minds, in our spirits, and in our souls with regards to what we focus on while we are here in the earth realm. Shifting our focus to the work that has to be done, seeking God, spending time with Him, and again seeking Him so that we can receive instructions on what it is that He would have us to do and to help us to gain the wisdom to be able to carry out those instructions. America and the world are changing at a rapid pace. The same calls for us to be called to attention, to be focused, things that are of God. And it brings me back to my original statement that the Lord woke me up that morning saying, it's not so much about your legacy, it's about your heavenly. Focusing on those things that are eternal, focusing on the things that God has brought us to the earth realm to do, spending time in His presence, and not so much focusing on the materialistic things, because those things are going to pass away. And there will become a time when our faith is going to have to be so strong, so rooted in God, just for our survival. This process will need to look pretty much so as follows. Hearing God's instructions, being prepared, and carrying them out as expeditiously as possible. We will need to begin to function as a fine oiled machine, both individualistically as well as collectively, to ensure that God's will is carried out in the earth realm. Let us begin to spend more time in His presence and not so much being distracted about what's going on around us. We need to be aware, but simultaneously we need to focus on God, ensuring that we're not becoming fearful and that we are being studious with regards to ensuring that we are focused. So making that paradigm shift from focusing on the materialistic things in the world, our legacies as they pertain to just gaining more and more and more materialistic items, and making that shift to focusing on God and allowing Him to instruct us the way to go will ensure our success in a realm that is eternal. May the peace that surpasses all understanding guard your hearts and minds. Until next time, Shalom.